Hello folks, and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to talk about one of my other favorite subjects, cast iron. We're going to talk about the advantages and the disadvantages of cast iron. Now I know there's other videos out there, but I'm going to give you my take on it. Most of them will probably align with everybody else's, but there's a couple of things I've got that I'd like to point out. But if you want to see what all that's about, stick around and we'll get right into it. Griswold, one of the more famous, well-known names in the cast iron, along with Lodge. Lodge you can buy everywhere. And let's not forget Wagner. So like I said, Lodge, everybody knows you can buy them at Walmart. You can buy them just about anywhere. This is one I picked up at a yard sale. I cleaned it real good, vinegar bath, and I'm in the process of getting it re-seasoned. We use it quite a bit. This old Griswold right here, it hasn't been used in a while. Same thing, I picked it up at a yard sale. Give it a good bath. You see it's still got some buildup around through there, but it works. This old Wagner right here has one of the smoothest insides. I haven't used this pan yet. It was about like that when I got it. It's already been cleaned up. Well, it's got some stuff in it where it's been setting, but those are awesome. Now, you got a variety of different kinds of pans. This one here, this is a good size for 2 to 3 people cornbread, to fix cornbread in. That's the only one we use for cornbread. You flip the cornbread out, you wipe the pan a little bit, put it up till next time. This one here, oh, you got to have a bacon press. You have to have a bacon press. This one here we use if we're doing steaks in the oven. Kind of works like a grill. If you don't want to break the grill out and do all that, you can sear them. I usually sear them in one of these pans. They can be baked in the oven. That's one of the nice things about cast iron. That's one of the advantages we'll get into in a minute. You can sear them on the stove top, throw the whole pan in the oven to finish baking the steaks. A lot of times I'll sear them in one of these, throw them in here to finish baking them. They got lots of grease and stuff kind of drain off. This one here, the wife's used it a time or two, but it don't get used very much. Here again, it's kind of a little bit rough. We picked it up. It is a Lodge. It's a newer piece, but we picked it up at a yard sale. This one over here, same thing. We got a ton of those. You can pick them up just about anywhere. There's another good example of a Griswold. Nice and slick. Now I want to show you one thing right over here. This is one thing we do. This one right here, we put this ring on it. It's just a simple key ring. This one, I'm not sure what brand it is. It has no markings other than this number 7. This pan is real slick. She uses this one. We use this marker to designate the fact that when she cooks fish, it goes in that pan. That way we don't, that's the fish pan. You don't get them in these others. We did it once or twice, and it just seems like when you cook steak or something else, you could still, so that is the fish pan. That ring lets us know that. You got a pot, they make pots. You clean them all the same way. This one here hasn't been used in a while. It needs to be a little TLC on it, but we done baked beans or green beans or corn or whatever, sauces, you can make whatever. This one here was cooked and cleaned, but not oiled yet. Just wanted to show you. It looks a little bit, again, a Lodge. Probably got this one at the Seconds. When I started buying cast iron, we'd go to the local Lodge outlets. And you can get the Seconds for a whole lot less money, and there's nothing wrong with them. Maybe a little blemish like this or whatever, and they couldn't sell them for premium price. This one here we used last night. Cleaned it good, but we just haven't oiled it yet to put it up. Now I want to show you one more thing. Let me get it. This old pan here, this one's one I picked up at a yard sale. The only thing I've done is brought it home. I did run a steel wool around in it just a little bit to wipe some of the worst off. This one here is one of the rougher ones that I've brought home. It's going to need a little more care, a little more treatment than the rest of them. So I've got a lot of buildup right around through here. It's been beat or scratched pretty much in the middle. It's had some rough treatment. Nevertheless, it ought to come back and be just fine once we get it. Now, a lot of people is scared of, well, it's got rust. And a lot of people that sees these for the first time that's got all this rust may not understand. With the proper care and procedure, all this can be cleaned up, re-seasoned, and this will be a great pan. If you don't put it in the house for some of your primary pans, it'll be a good pan to take camping. The main thing about cast iron, and anybody watching this video probably already knows, the main thing about cast iron is you have to take care of it properly when you're done cooking in it. The procedure I use, when we're done cooking, we sit down and eat. Set the pan up, let it cool, let it be cooling. As soon as we're done, I'll usually get up when the pan is where you can touch the center of it with your hand and not get burnt. I usually get the water warm in the sink. And my wife got a video on here making these scratch pads out of onion bags. She makes them, and they work like scrub brushes, and you know what, they're free because you got the onion sack. Check the video out. I'll put a link to it over here somewhere. Anyway, check that out. And anyway, I use one of those and the warm water, and you scratch and clean. It gets all the things. Eggs is a little tough occasionally if you don't get enough oil. Taters, if you burn them, yeah, they can be a little mean, but I've got plastic scratchers that you scratch the stuff loose with. Warm water, clean them up. Put them in the oven, and once I dry them, I put them in the oven. Bring the temperature up to about 400. Let them heat for a minute, pull them out, wipe them down with oil on the inside, put them back in the oven, turn the oven off, and let it cool down, and there you go, you're ready to go. So these things are easy. You just gotta take care of them like any other tool. You get a knife, you work with a knife. It'll dull, you gotta sharpen a knife, you got proper care. Don't be afraid of cast iron. We had a lot of the Teflon and type things. She got to pointing out to me that, look, there's little spots of this black stuff, this coating, it's gone. And I'm not knocking those pans. They work great. We used them for years, but we canned all of those. We've went straight cast iron, and she's got a nice stainless set for other things. So it's just whatever you like. We decided to go cast. Advantages, disadvantages. One advantage, well seasoned, they're non-stick. You can sear in these pans. Get this pan here, plenty of hot grease, seasonings, throw your steak in, sear one side, sear the other, pop the oven, throw it in the oven, finish it on whatever likeness you want on the steak, whatever doneness, and there you go. You got, like I said, proper care. These things will last a lifetime. I've got one over here that was, well, these Griswolds and stuff, they haven't been made since before I was born. Okay. Even heat distribution. These things distribute heat wonderfully. And it adds some of the needed daily iron to your diet. So, I mean, you get that. There is a few disadvantages, as much as I'm praising these things. They are heavy. You know, you take this skillet right here. I can handle it. But you get this thing right here full of beef, ground beef fried up. If you're making manwich or something, you need to drain the grease because, you know, you just need to. It can be heavy if you got to hold that thing up with a pounder or two of beef in it. So, heavy. Okay, we'll give them that. That's a disadvantage. A little bit of a hassle to maintain, some people says. I call it proper care. If you dull a knife, you sharpen it. You use these, you grease them. Take care of them. Hassle to reseason, some people says. I've heard comments. No, they're not a hassle. Clean them like I said a minute ago. When you're done eating, don't let them set a night or two, then clean them. Yeah, you might start getting surface rust if you scratched a little of the seasoning. Plus everything will stick some maybe. I mean, you know, clean them up when you're done. Storage on these things. They're heavy. You can't pile 100 of them in a cabinet. You'll probably break something. Name of the cabinet. You oil them up, grease them up, yeah. Now, don't grease the outsides hardly ever. Clean the outsides up, wipe them off. The outsides doesn't get scratched up or used. But, yes, when you stack them like I'm fixing to put these back up, there'll be pans stacked inside of pans. So, you know, let's call it storage hassle. Anyway, that's a quick take. We're going to make another video a little later on the restoration on old Rusty over here. Have no doubt that pan will come back. It won't be as smooth inside as this one right here, whatever brand that is. If anybody wants to know what that, recognize this, please drop a comment. But this will be a good pan. We'll do a restoration video on it later, step by step. That'll probably do it for today's video. If you all like the video, found anything informative, please like, share, subscribe, pass it on. Feel free to comment. I'm open to comments. That ought to about do it. You all have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching. God bless.